I lived in Eastern Europe for more than 5 years, and this is the ugly truth about the Slavic culture. It's very important to understand which countries can be defined as Slavic. The first block we can define as North Slavic countries, and we can put in these categories Belarus, Czech Republic, Poland, Russia, Slovakia, Ukraine. The second block can be defined as South Slav, people that were part of the former Yugoslavia. Bosnia-Herzegovina, Croatia, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Serbia, Slovenia. Russia and Belarus are basically best bros. Politically speaking, they are very similar. Belarus relies on agriculture, factor production, and also Russia a little bit. Russia and Belarus are so close each other that they also created a political entity called the Union State. The language of Belarus is also very similar with Russian. Ukraine, on the other hand, has been the rebellious bro of both countries. Ukrainians do not want absolutely have any ties with Russia. They are tired, they are fed up, and they rather prefer to join USA. That's why there is this ongoing conflict. The economy also of Ukraine relies heavily on mines, especially in the Donbass. Ukrainians are on the average much more friendly, much more warm, especially compared to Belarusian and Russians. In such Slavic countries, especially Russia and Belarus, to be serious is considered the norm. Why I need to smile to you if I don't know you? Why I need to be hospitable if we never met each other or I don't know you? That's why Russian and Belarusians are considered very tough to get. There is also the so-called the mentality of the coconut versus the peach. Coconut, it's very hard outside, but once you enter inside, it's very soft, while peach cultures, like for example Mediterranean countries, they are very soft on the outside, but very hard to get on the inside, which is basically the opposite. Slavic culture, especially these countries, are absolutely on the coconut side. For such countries, and in general for Slavic countries, people absolutely embrace introversion. So instead to be fake, to smile, to have a small talk, they prefer to just save energies, being direct and be warm and kind only with people that are very close to each other. The Slavic culture also relies heavily on values like marriage, traditions, and etc. In Russia, for example, it is absolutely common to follow this path: high school, marriage at 18 or let's say 23, and 23 is considered very old already for Russian culture, divorce at 28. That's why if you ever meet a woman from Russia or Belarus on her 26, 27, 28, unless she's from Moscow or a big city, 99% she will be already divorced. For Russian guys, being divorced is considered a very negative stigma. That's why many divorced Russian women, they prefer to date foreigners. Many Russian people, they are very pragmatic. So after some 6 months or 8 months, if people like each other, they have the pressure to get married. Dating speaking in these countries, with some exceptions in Ukraine because it's getting a little bit more Western, it's basically on the provider mentality. Yes, we are in 2026 and still here we are talking about provider mentality. The concept in these countries is that I'm a good looking woman, I spend the time to take care of myself, I put 50 kilo of a fard of makeup in my face, I'm the hottest girl on the planet, but you need to pay everything. I'm the guy, you are the girl, so because you are the girl, I have to pay every single shit of my fucking life for you. First dates in Russia are basically with flowers. So if you go to a date and you don't bring your flowers, you are considered stingy. You don't like her enough. You are not a man. In such countries, people split the bills only on friendly manners. So either it's dating material, so I have to pay every single time, or we are just friends. There is no mutual connections like friend first and then girlfriend. These countries, Russia, Belarus, and a little bit Ukraine, are the most materialistic countries in this fucking planet. The guys in these countries are absolutely gentlemen. The mentality is I need to open the door, I need to say good morning, I need to give you compliments to you every single day in exchange of beauty. Make friends in Russia and Belarus is very hard. Your chances are, if you speak the language, you can have some percentage, but still it's basically impossible. Poland is one of the most developed Eastern European countries for the time being. I did a video on this country, so feel free to check it out. Czech Republic, despite being a Slavic country, it's basically one of the most Germanic countries in this planet. Imagine to be a Slav but also a German. I made a video about, feel free to check out. And then we have another country in this group, which is Slovakia. Slovakia used to be a part of Czech Republic and is one of the very few countries in this planet that departed away in a very peaceful manner with just one political agreement. Slovakians are the friendly and warmer version of Czech. We have another block of the so-called South Balkan countries. Bosnia and Herzegovina, for example, is one of the most traditional and conservative countries in the area. I do believe it is underrated, with Sarajevo and Mostar considered one of the most beautiful cities I've ever been in my entire life. People from Bosnia are very warm, fun and nice. They are authentic and they reminds me sometimes a little bit of the Turkish culture. Religion is a very big thing. Despite being a multi-religious country, there are people in this country that are also Muslim. And this, of course, impacts the society and the mindset. To have one night stand or just have friends with benefit and this bullshit is considered something weird and frowned upon. People from Bosnia, they really like foreigners, they are very curious, however they are very hard to get. Croatia. Croatia is one of the most European South Slav country in this group. People are very warm, nice and friendly. There is some Mediterranean mentality. Croatia also did a very interesting and I would say very intelligent move to switch from krune to euro. Dating speaking, finally it's like normal. It's not like gold digger bullshit. Then we have countries like Montenegro and North Macedonia, with Montenegro basically being very similar to Serbia, which we're gonna speak in a few minutes, with North Macedonia being a little bit old-fashioned version, still much more progressive and modern than Bosnia. And then we have the final boss, Serbia. Serbia is one of my favorite country. It's the country of very interesting people like Kusturica, Goran Bregovic, Djokovic. Serbian people, they are very conservative like Russian levels, but also if you crack the ice, you'll be shocked how warm they are, more than Italians. Serbian dating culture, it is absolutely old-fashioned. It is about clans, so you need to have a Serbian group of friends just to have the chance to meet a very good-looking Svetlana or whatever is the name from Serbia. Women are very tough, smart and good-looking. The guys are very tall, smart and good-looking. So basically there is no chance to even say hi, zdravo, kako si, to basic Serbian person. They like foreigners, but if they have to choose between good-looking Radovan or whatever is the name from Serbia and random Italiano, of course they will choose a Serbian guy. Marriage is also a very big thing. Serbian guys, they are very tough and intimidating. However, if you get the chance, the luck, I will say, to get to know them or just to befriend them, you will see a paradise. They will offer you, they will show you around, they will pay for you for everything, you will be a guest. However, it's like a secret club. Another trait of Serbian culture is being stubborn. Try to change the mind of Serbian guy and you will fail miserably. Then, in this interesting group, we have an outsider, Slovenia. Slovenia used to be the richest country in the Balkan groups. If you visit Ljubljana, you will be surprised. The city is so good looking, well maintained, very clean, and you also have a Metelkova, which is a very interesting underground district of the city. The city people are also very warm, despite speaking a language which is Slovenian, which is a little bit different than Serbian. Slovenian dating is basically like Western world. You just meet a person, zdravo, kako si. If you feel good, you pay. If you don't, it's fine. You can still be a man if you don't give flowers